Okay.
How many times have I asked you not?
Please, let go of me. Stop. What are you doing? Let go of me because I haven't said anything. She's hurting me.
No, she's
yes,
not.
Yes, she is. Let go of me.
Sit down. We are investigating
What am I being charged with?
We are investigating you trespassing on this property.
But I'm not.
Okay. And you have resisted, delayed, and obstructed our investigation. Okay? And resisted while we were trying to get you out of the car. Okay?
A seemingly routine property inspection takes a harrowing turn as 22-year-old property manager Ja'Lana Dunlap finds herself unexpectedly confronted by law enforcement officers. What begins as a simple task to photograph illegally dumped trash quickly spirals into a nightmare of aggression, excessive force, and an alarming disregard for Miss Dunlap's rights and well-being. But why did this seemingly mundane task escalate into a legal battle, leaving Ja'Lana fighting for her rights and dignity? What led them to believe Miss Dunlap was a threat, and what legal repercussions could they face for their actions? So are you ready to dive into a gripping tale of rights, authority, and the power of the law? Then join us as we unravel the disturbing events of this encounter and delve into the legal complexities surrounding police conduct. On September 6, 2022, property manager Ja'Lana Dunlap in Fayetteville, North Carolina, was on a mission to inspect and photograph some illegally dumped trash at a property, as requested by her boss. Little did she know, this routine task would escalate into a confrontation with law enforcement. As Ja'Lana parked her vehicle on the property and began taking photographs with her cell phone, Officer Ryan Haddock of the Fayetteville Police Department approached her. Detective Amanda Bell soon joined him. They claimed they were searching for a violent suspect in the area, though this claim was later disputed by Ja'Lana's lawyer, Harry Daniels. He asserted that police radio traffic suggested there were no potentially violent suspects nearby, casting doubt on the officer's motives.
What are you doing? I just saw you pull back over here. Any reason why you back over here?
This is my boss's property.
Okay, who's your boss? You got any ID or anything on you?
Officer Haddock began questioning Ja'Lana, alleging she might be trespassing. Ja'Lana, feeling uneasy, requested to leave the property. However, Officer Haddock informed her that she was not free to go. This raised questions about the legality of her detention.
Well, I mean, it's all fine and dandy what you're telling me, but, I mean, you know, it just kind of looks suspicious that you pulled out here in the middle of a field.
Hello?
Technically, you could be trespassing.
Hey, find out email.
Well, I don't know that. How do I know that?
Email is in the...
Go ahead, just step out of the car.
Stop. Okay.
Just step out of the vehicle.
Let go of me.
Step out.
Let go of me. I will.
According to North Carolina law, trespassing involves entering or remaining on someone else's property without authorization. However, whether Ja'Lana's actions constituted trespassing remains unclear. North Carolina statutes outline degrees of trespassing, with the severity depending on factors such as prior notification and time of day. Ja'Lana's encounter with law enforcement, captured on body camera footage, sparked a legal battle. She filed a lawsuit regarding the interaction, challenging the officer's actions. In the 1996 case of Wren versus United States, the Supreme Court ruled that an officer's personal reasons don't matter if their actions are objectively justifiable under the Fourth Amendment. Thus, as long as there was probable cause for a traffic violation, Officer Akers' stop of Trevino could still be lawful, even if it was because she had flipped him off. But if she did signal when changing lanes, then the officer couldn't detain her. Officer Akers was capable of coming clean and saying that the stop was a pretext, and the body camera footage was not entirely clear. It's a tricky situation, and could the body camera footage reveal the real story? It would seem as though Trevino may have given a signal when changing lines. Officer Akers made it clear that he was stopping her because she didn't signal when changing lines. He ordered another police officer to handcuff her after Miss Dunlap began recording the officers on her cell phone. Detective Bell approached the driver's side door and attempted to physically pull Miss Dunlap out of the car without warning. Officer Haddock joined in, despite Miss Dunlap's assurance that she would step out of the vehicle if they released her arm. Despite her compliance, the officers continued to pull on her until they managed to forcibly remove her from the vehicle.
Ma'am, all I've asked you for is your ID so we can make sure that you're not trespassing.
Let go of me, ma'am. I will. If you can let go of me, ma'am, I will. Please stop. Please stop. Can y'all stop?
Okay.
Like, what are you doing?
Good, yeah, it's unhooked.
Please stop.
Ma'am,
Please stop.
all I've asked you for is your ID so we can make sure that you're not
with
trouble.
me. What are you doing?
Ma'am, step out of the car.
Okay, don't drag me out.
Then get out of the car.
I will if you
I've
will
asked you multiple
if you
times.
will release my arm.
Get out of the car.
If you will release my arm.
Ryan, you good over there?
Yeah, she's refusing to come out of the car.
Because you're grabbing my arm very
Okay.
tightly.
You ready?
Okay, now
You're
hang on.
grabbing my
Hang
arm
on.
very
Just let her
tightly.
go. She ain't going nowhere now. Look.
Let me go.
Okay.
And
Now-
I'll get the fuck out.
Okay. Step back and
Don't
let her
start.
ID right
Okay.
there.
Step
Okay,
out.
it
Now step out
sure
of
is.
the, okay, now
And
step
you're
out
not
of the car.
getting it because I know I haven't did it.
Okay, well step out the car.
Okay.
How many times have I asked you not?
Please, let go of me. What are you doing? Let go of me. Let go of me. Let go of me because I haven't fucking did anything.
Okay, stop resisting. Stop resisting. Ma'am,
Give me my
stop
phone.
resisting.
Give me my phone.
Ma'am,
Give
stop.
me my phone.
Stop resisting.
Y'all are hurting me. She's hurting me.
No, she's
Yes,
not.
she is.
She's not.
Yes, she is. Let go of me.
Sit.
Once Miss Dunlap was out of the car, the officers pushed her against it and forcibly handcuffed her. While courts recognize that officers may use reasonable force to remove a driver who refuses a lawful order to exit their vehicle, such force should only be used in the absence of probable cause for arrest or other extenuating circumstances suggesting a safety threat. However, in this case, Miss Dunlap was willing to comply and had not ignored an order to exit the vehicle. Detective Bell initiated force before or at the same time as giving the order to exit, and Miss Dunlap clearly indicated her willingness to comply if the officers released her arm. The Supreme Court outlined 3 factors to determine the constitutionality of the use of force in the 1989 case of Graham versus Connor: the severity of the crime at issue, the immediate threat posed by the suspect, and whether the suspect is actively resisting or attempting to evade arrest. In this instance, the officers suspected Miss Dunlap of trespassing, a minor and nonviolent offense for which they likely lacked reasonable suspicion. Therefore, the use of force against Miss Dunlap appears to be disproportionate and constitutionally questionable. Likewise, Miss Dunlap took no actions that could reasonably lead an officer to perceive her as a safety threat. She was not actively resisting or attempting to flee when the officers initiated force. Therefore, it's entirely plausible that a court would conclude the officers used excessive force in removing her from the vehicle. Due to the stress of the situation and Miss Dunlap's medical condition of sickle cell anemia, she began to hyperventilate and eventually vomited. According to the lawsuit she filed, Officer Haddock refused to release her when she requested to vomit, despite her being in handcuffs. As she tried to kneel to vomit, Officer Haddock continued to yank her upright, worsening her breathing and condition. The complaint alleges that Officer Haddock forcefully held up Miss Dunlap while she was vomiting and only allowed her to kneel when her condition worsened further.
What am I being charged with?
We are investigating you trespassing on this property.
But I'm not.
Okay? And you have resisted, delayed, and obstructed our investigation. Okay? And resisted while we were trying to get you out of the car. Okay?
Do not. Okay, look at me for a second. All right, listen, look at me for a second. Right now, you're not in any trouble.
So why am I in handcuffs?
Okay, because right now, listen, I'm just looking.
Why am I in handcuffs if I'm not in trouble?
Right now, you're just being.
I know my fucking rights.
All right, listen.
I know I ain't did shit wrong.
All right, right now, you're just being detained. Everybody's saying you're under arrest. Okay?
But what have I done wrong? I haven't did shit wrong.
Okay, so this is the thing, all right? We were over here in this area looking for somebody, all right?
No, it ain't me.
No, it ain't you. All
Okay,
right?
so what
Hold
do
on
I
a
do?
second. Let me finish. All right? He came over here to talk to you to find out if you knew anything about what was going
I
on.
just said I did it.
Right. Okay, and that's fine. We're going to do our thing, and then we're probably going to cut you loose, okay?
Officer Haddock suggested that the officers should at least issue Miss Dunlap a ticket for RDO, which stands for resisting, delaying, or obstructing an officer in violation of Section 14223 of the North Carolina statutes. The term CYA used by Officer Haddock stands for cover your ass. Workers and organizations use the phrase "cover your ass" to share or deflect blame or offer an apology in the event that something goes wrong. Section 14-223 states that if any person willfully and unlawfully resists, delays, or obstructs a public officer in discharging their duty, they are guilty of a Class 2 misdemeanor.
All that was unnecessary. Ripping my fanny pack off and trying to throw me out the car and shit like that. Yeah. Yeah. That one right there. So I'm damn sure pressing
They'll
charges
leave
on
it?
her.
Huh? Leave?
Best believe.
I just told her to back up. Okay.
Best
Yeah.
believe.
I just want to make sure she's clear. She is. She is.
All right, go ahead and stand up. We're going to get you the handcuffs.
Okay, but all that shit that bitch did over there was unnecessary.
Okay.
I was talking to you, and I would have got out the car.
And did I not let you get out of the car on your own? No, hang on. But.
All right, so hey, real quick. All right. So you understand why we were out here just asking shit questions, yes?
I hear you.
Okay. We weren't trying to give you a hard time, okay?
No, that bitch was. And I want her name. She done scratched me up and shit. Yeah. I want that bitch name.
See what?
All right. Her name is Detective Bell.
What's the first name? What's her badge number? Yeah.
Do you have a pen or a piece of paper?
Yeah. Scratch me up and shit.
At least a ticket for you.
I want that bitch name.
See what?
All right.
I'm saying she at least needs a ticket for you. See what?
Yeah. Well, go ahead and.
Okay.
Is she gonna write it? Or you gonna write it?
I don't have anything to write it with. If she's got her computer,
Yeah,
I have
go
her
ahead and see
write
it.
and put me as a witness.
Okay, that's fine.
Hold on close. For RDO, the CYA. You don't have a printer? Does anybody? I don't care who writes it, but the CYA, both of us, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree because,
All right, you put me down as a witness or whatever you need to do.
yeah, absolutely.
This raises further concerns about the officers' conduct and their handling of the situation. The refusal to accommodate Miss Dunlap's medical needs and the suggestion to issue her a ticket under dubious circumstances suggest a disregard for her well-being and potentially an abuse of power. While it's conceivable that some of Miss Dunlap's actions might have approached obstruction, if the officers were conducting a lawful investigatory stop, it's probable they lacked the reasonable suspicion necessary to detain her. In the 2008 case of State v. Sinclair, the North Carolina Court of Appeals ruled that when an officer conducts an unlawful investigatory stop on a citizen, they are not discharging or attempting to discharge an official duty under the RDU statute. Similarly, North Carolina law acknowledges the right of citizens to defend themselves against illegal arrests and excessive force, whether the arrest is lawful or not. As stated in the 1979 case of State v. Anderson, one resisting an illegal arrest is not resisting an officer within the discharge of his official duties. However, individuals have the right to defend themselves against excessive force during an arrest, regardless of its lawfulness.
A warning?
Yeah, I don't want her.
Okay. Sorry, Andrew said just do it. Warning. Like, at least some piece of paper.
Given these legal precedents, it's improbable that a court would determine Miss Dunlap had resisted, delayed, or obstructed the officers in this situation. The lack of reasonable suspicion for the stop and the potential excessive force used by the officers would likely undermine any claims of obstruction against Miss Dunlap. On October 25, 2022, Miss Dunlap obtained a court order for the release of the body camera footage from the encounter. That same day, she filed a federal lawsuit alleging various violations, including unreasonable seizure and excessive force under the Fourth Amendment, as well as First Amendment retaliation. The complaint also included several state law tort claims. As of the date of this episode, the lawsuit remains pending. Due to her traumatic experience during the interaction, Miss Dunlap chose to resign from her position as a property manager out of fear of a similar incident occurring while she performed her duties at another property. According to the complaint filed for her lawsuit, Miss Dunlap also submitted an internal complaint to the Fayetteville Police Department on September 8, 2022.
She said she didn't eat. I saw you throw up. Are you sure you're okay? Was it just stress that caused that?
So, all that shit was unnecessary. My record is clean. I ain't never been in handcuffs. Ever. I ain't never been arrested.
Well, here's the deal. This is her name and badge number, okay?
Great.
Okay? This is my name, my badge number, and my telephone number, okay? She works directly for me, okay? Are you wanting to file a formal complaint against her right now? Because I'm going to tell you what the process is for this. If you want to bear with me, I'm going to kneel down with you right here, okay? So come down, write a formal statement for me. So text me, let me know when you're coming down, all right? Let me see your hand real quick. I don't know what you had or previously. Are you saying? No, I'm not. I'm just saying. Is this what you're saying right here?
That right there and that right there.
Okay, I'll snap a photo of that real quick, okay? And do me a favor, like I said, you're gonna have to text me and let me know so we can meet up. It's at 4. I'll write it down for you as well. You can call me Kemper. Honestly, you call me whatever, okay? It's just whatever's easiest for you.
Oh, no doubt that she got nervous and
She's
tired of this guy, right?
I don't know yet. I haven't been able to look at anything. I sent it all to bands to see if we could find
What all did y'all explain to her? What all did y'all say?
Well, first I explained to
No,
her.
I'm talking about.
She's perfectly fine. However, she does want to make. She's upset. She's not upset at the situation. She's more upset, unfortunately, at Belle than anybody else.
And how she was removed from the vehicle.
All right, get your camera on there, right?
Yeah,
All right.
don't worry about that. I've talked to her. I gave her my information, your information, told her to come see me
So
tomorrow, and we'll write it all down.
She's fine now. She's calm. She just wants to go. So I've got her keys. I'm going to give her her keys and let her go. But she's got everything that she needs if she decides that she wants to come down and do anything else. But as far as, like, she wasn't taken to the ground or anything like that. She wasn't...
Okay. Ja'Lana, let me see your hand real quick, not with the phone in it. Sorry. Lay it out for me. No, don't fist it like you won't fight me. Come on. All right, hold on. Got a little bit of shadow. Don't move. We're saying these two right here? Okay. Okay, let me take a look at you real quick. Could you stand up for me real quick? I'm just going to get a full frontal shot, all right? Here are your car keys. Do you need anything else from me, ma'am? I know it's a little stressful, but you're sure you're good? I just realized I could have known your name if I'd have just looked down on your shoes. I'm just going to watch you go out to make sure everything's good, okay?
An article published after Miss Dunlap filed her lawsuit reported that the department acknowledged the complaint and stated that an internal investigation was underway. However, no information has been publicly released regarding the results of this investigation. The officers involved in this encounter failed their duty for harassing and detaining Miss Dunlap without reasonable suspicion while she was simply trying to do her job. Their use of unnecessary force in removing her from the vehicle and handcuffing her, as well as their attempt to issue a baseless ticket for resisting, delaying, or obstructing an officer, suggest a cover-up mentality. Such actions undermine trust in law enforcement and highlight the need for accountability and transparency in police interactions. Throughout the encounter, the officers made unnecessarily aggressive choices and showed a shocking lack of compassion for Miss Dunlap's health issues and legitimate anxiety. Despite no indication that Miss Dunlap posed any threat, the officers forcibly removed her from the vehicle, handcuffed her, and prevented her from vomiting. Miss Dunlap stood up for her rights when the officers detained her without reasonable suspicion, attempted to prevent her from filming the encounter, and took appropriate measures afterward by filing a complaint and a lawsuit. While she did not comply with the officers' orders to exit the vehicle and appeared to struggle with them as they handcuffed her, these actions likely were not criminal under North Carolina law, given the officers probably lacked reasonable suspicion to detain her in the first place. However, it's crucial for one to understand that in other states that do not recognize the right to oppose an unlawful arrest or detention, Miss Dunlap's resistance could have resulted in criminal charges. This encounter underscores the importance of citizens knowing and understanding the applicable criminal laws in their states and taking lawful action against law enforcement officers after their rights are violated.